Hello everyone, this is the Daily Rex with another tooth identification video. Most of these teeth are all for sale on thedailyrex.com, but today we're going to be looking at a unique formation, one you don't find very often, and that is the Bissekty Formation of Uzbekistan. So Uzbekistan is a country in Central Asia, and they actually find quite a few dinosaurs in the deserts out there. And one particular formation, the Bissekty Formation, which is about 90 to 92 million years old. Now this formation is a little bit younger than Kemkem in Morocco, but we get vastly different creatures. All right, now they're also separated by a couple thousand miles, but you get a lot of different things. So I kind of have a spread here. We have a type of tyrannosaur. We have an enormous dromaeosaur or raptor dinosaur. And we have something, I'm not really sure what it is. Their teeth don't really match anything. But let's start going over some of these. We'll go over these in a little bit. Okay, so there is a tyrannosaur in the Bissekty Formation. It is called Timurlengia. It's actually tyrannosauroid because it's so far derived and so one of the first real tyrannosaurs that it's quite important to their evolutionary history. But I have a few examples of their teeth. Now, what they found of Timurlengia was a juvenile. It was about 12, 15 feet long, but that was a juvenile. And looking at especially this tooth, which matches all the characteristics of Timurlengia, it was probably quite large, between 20 and 25 feet, in my opinion. Okay, but a lot of the times you find some of the smaller teeth like these. So, let's go over this. So here's a large Timurlengia tooth. Okay, it's serrated on both sides. Both the mesial and distal serrations are about the same density. And length, these are a little bit taller. These are a little bit shorter. That's kind of normal Tyrannosaurs. For the most part, the serrations will come down on the mesial end. Now, when I say mesial, tooth would sit in the mouth like so. This would be towards the front of the jaw. This would be towards the throat. Okay, they're slightly recurved. They're not incredibly recurved. As you can tell, this isn't even a full tooth. The full tooth might have been a little longer, but probably not much more. Okay, this one's a little less than 2 inches. Okay, they are quite compressed on average. Long oval, compressed. They are usually a bit symmetrical. Some of the things can be a little off on symmetry from the carinae from here to here. But these, you get these etchings on these teeth sometimes. That's usually from plants sucking into them, but it can be some other things. Okay. One thing about these teeth, about Uzbekistan teeth, is you can obviously tell that they were river worn, so they kind of get river shined. So this one's a really nice example because it has serrations all over it. So are these, but you'll get a lot of these where the serrations are just gone. It's a type of preservation I don't see very often. The teeth are really shiny. They have a really unique look to them when compared to, especially, they look much different. They're much more solid than, say, Moroccan teeth. Their solidness resembles a little bit more like the Hell Creek. But even that, they are probably the most solid teeth out there that you can purchase if you're able to get your hands on them. So here's a smaller Timurlengia tooth. You can see one thing we do luck out with these are the tips are there more often than not. The serrations on this end are really good. Sadly, the serrations on this end are pretty worn off. You get really nice serrations here. You get that nice compressed oval base. Good serrations running down, nice tip. This one is available on the website right now. Again, this one, the same thing. These back serrations, they just get in that river and they get worn down because they're a little smaller. The front serrations on this one are pretty good. Decent tip, only a little bit of enamel missing on the tip. You can see the compressed there. So that's Timurlengia. Let's move on to my favorite of this formation. This is a very large dromaeosaur. These are the raptor dinosaurs. For those who know raptor dinosaurs and their teeth, know that raptors typically had very small teeth, even for their body size. A lot of raptors were very small. They were like 6 feet in length, sometimes less. This guy was not small. Okay, here's the best example of one of their teeth. It's really hard to see on this video, but these back serrations, they come down and they have quite a twist to them. So instead of going straight down, like most of the Timurlengia and one of the other ones we're going to look at, the twist is quite heavy. Sadly, this one's missing some back serrations, but this one is a partially rooted tooth. This is one of the best raptor teeth, I believe, in the whole world, to be honest. You have very well-defined serrations here. These serrations on the distal end are much larger than the ones back here. Sometimes with the big raptors, that's not always the case. The smaller raptor is almost always the case, where these serrations on the distal end are always bigger than those on the back, both in density and height. Sometimes with the bigger dromaeosaurs, the bigger raptors, that goes away. You can see in Dakota raptor, it goes away. Utah raptor, it goes away a bit. With this one, it maintains some of it. It's not as drastic as others. As you can see, this is a stunning tooth here. Let's look at this one. This one's really quite nice. This one has a very abrupt twist to the back there. That's one thing you can look at when you think you find one of these teeth. You can see how much more curved it is. It's a much more curved tooth than the other ones. Okay, again, the serrations on this end are going to be bigger than that end. They're compressed like the Timurlengia. This has always made large raptor teeth hard to figure out compared to small tyrannosaur teeth, as their teeth are very similar. It uses serration density, but this twist is pretty iconic. I don't know what species this is. There's only one described that's a raptor. That's Itemyrus. And there's conflicting reports on how big that one was. They show that one as being pretty small. There are small raptor teeth in the Bissekty. This was not from a small raptor. This was probably 15, 20 footer. All right, okay. Let's move on to the mystery. Okay, very long, in generally very straight. This curve along the mesial end is not very pronounced. And with both of these, very round, far more round than the Timurlengia. Okay, the serrations are smaller than Timurlengia, and they actually run both sides of the tooth up and down. They do not twist. Okay, the serrations are a lot finer if you actually look at them under the microscope. And I would tell you what species or family this is. I honestly don't know. There are very few teeth that you will find anywhere in the dinosaur, in the theropod record, that match these. With that big oval base, it's a lot rounder, nearly straight. It's not completely, but compared to most theropod teeth, it is. And right here, nearly straight. Serrations run pretty much the gamut to the tooth line, to the gum line, which should be about here. This tooth, so this is a nice complete tooth. It's got a little bit of enamel missing. Okay. But If you want a chance to own one of these unique teeth and figure out what it is, I highly recommend it. All right, so there's the dinosaurs. Let's move on to a few of the other ones. So here I have a very rare example, and this is on the website now. This is a Bissekty pterosaur tooth. Okay, it's the only one I've ever seen. There's probably more out there. Lacks a carinae. It's got that unique texture that comes with most pterosaur teeth. This one sadly is missing the tip, but not a lot of the tip. You can see into the tooth here. It's a wonderful example of probably one of the last pterosaurs with teeth. They would go extinct not long after this. Okay, and now I have a mystery tooth again. This one looks to be pterosaur. I believe it is pterosaur. However, I can't say for sure. There's always a small chance this is some sort of rare fish. But even for a fish, this would be a very large fish tooth. So, not sure exactly what this one is, and that's kind of the fun of this formation. And the teeth up there are kind of fun to have that mystery and to research. All right, let's move on to the croc teeth. There's a lot of crocs. Okay, these are crocodilomorphs. These were likely some type of land-dwelling crocodile. Okay, you can see they're a lot longer. They're somewhat recurved. Sadly, the tip on this one's gone, but they're pretty round. I thought Spinosaur for a minute, but they just don't match the Spinosaur profile. Okay, this one's really worn, but a nice example of the teeth. Sometimes you get some even stranger crocodile morph teeth like this. Completely hooked, no serrations, no carinae, it's just round. This is a very, very odd and unusual tooth. Here we have another crocodilomorph. Long, curved, very unique teeth. And now we get into just the normal. These are just flat out crocs. If you're interested in these croc teeth, please send me a message. I don't have them up on the website as of yet. They will be there in the future, so if you're watching in the future, go on and check. All right, so here we have a lot of different croc teeth. Just the normal. This back end, so they are not symmetrical between the carinae. So you have the carinae here, carinae here. It's a lot shorter and flatter between here, a lot bigger around here. That's one of the key reasons you can really tell if it's a croc tooth. Okay. So here's a nice little example, croc tooth. All right. Well, we'll end on these with the good old Timurlengia, which is everyone's favorites. Well, so that's the Bissekty Formation. There are herbivores out of there. Their teeth are rarely come up for sale, but go on thedailyrex.com and check them out. Remember, go under Formations, and under Formations, click Bissekty, and that's where you'll find them. All right, and that's it.